Call a meeting of September 14th, 2020 to order. Please stand for the pledge to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Crano?
Here.
Mr. Davis?
Here.
Mr. Kent?
Here.
All right. We will have an introduction of our department heads. All of them are in the back. They will come out one at a time. Jessica Ricker from the Senior Center is here. Our Park Supervisor, Todd Schaefer, is here. Our Fire Chief, Andy Frost, is here. Our Police Chief, Bob Gavalier, is here. Zoning Inspector, Darren Crivelli, is here. Our Township Administrator and Road Superintendent, Mike Dockery, is here. To my immediate right is Ken Carano, Trustee. To my immediate left is Steve Kent, Trustee. To my far left, our favorite fiscal officer, Lori Wolf. And of course, I'm Jim Davis, your Trustee. At this time, we'd ask for a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of August 24th, 2020.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mr. Crano?
Yes. Okay, the administrator's report. Mike?
Jim, nothing to report under the administrator's report. I just want to refer you to number 2 under road. If you remember, last year we received and bought 2 large road trucks. We had a 2-year lease to buy with them. We made the first payment last year. The second payment was due this year when the pandemic started. We asked the bank if they could extend the second payment, which they've done. That's the purpose of this.
Okay. We'll move on then to the road and cemetery department. A motion to change from 2 years to 6 years term of master lease purchase agreement number 9609 2020 International and Freightliner with Bank Capital Services LLC doing business as FNB Equipment Finance, and to authorize Administrator Mike Dockery to execute all documents on behalf of the township.
Mr. Chairman, before we vote on it, everyone seems to like the equipment. Is that true?
Yeah, the trucks they're both working out.
All right. So moved.
Second.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mr. Crano?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes. Police Department. Chief Cavalier?
The only thing I have to add is, as you know, we received a grant last year sometime, I'm not sure what time it was, for the body-worn cameras. We received a grant for $30,000. We haven't received that money yet from the federal government, but we finalized our last hoop, if you have to say so, that we have to jump through to get it. So hopefully here within a month we'll be receiving the $30,000.
Great. All right. Anything else that you need to add?
No.
All right. We'll move on to the fire department and our illustrious fire chief, Chief Frost. is here. Chief, anything to add to the report?
No, nothing at all.
All right.
If I may, Mr. Chair.
Sure, go ahead.
Chief, we all got this letter, I believe. Just for the information of the people here, if they're wondering about the township rules for campfires in the backyard, using fire ring with seasoned tree wood only. Is that okay?
Yeah, so you're allowed to have a fire as long as it is no bigger than 3 by 3 by 3. Has to be dry wood and cannot be any closer than 20 foot to a structure.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Since there's nothing else, we would get our zoning inspector, please.
Got it.
Because he doesn't do fast.
Okay.
All right, our Zoning Inspector Darren Carvelli. Darren, anything to add to the monthly report?
No.
All right, and it looks like we have a list of nuisance complaints. I'll go ahead and read those for our approval. 3614 Canfield Road, a large amount of miscellaneous items, junk and debris, including metal, glass, vehicle parts stored in exposed manner to property. 2957 Collingwood Place, high grass and weeds. 4177 Chrome Road, miscellaneous items, junk and debris stored in exposed manner throughout the yard. 2491 Deborah Court, a large amount of miscellaneous items, junk and debris stored in exposed manner throughout the yard. 640 South Canfield Downs Road, retention pond overgrown and in need of maintenance with suspected outlet obstruction. 457 South Edgehill Avenue, vacant property, used furniture stored in exposed manner at the curb. 463 South Edgehill, miscellaneous items, junk and debris stored in exposed manner in the yard, an in-ground swimming pool with stagnant water in the storage container within the rear yard in unusable condition to be repaired or removed. 490 Edge Hill, high grass and junk and debris. 479 Forest Hill, vacant property, high grass and weeds within the rear yard, tree branches stored in exposed manner within the front yard. 39 Hood Street, a large amount of miscellaneous items, junk and debris stored in exposed manner throughout the property. 2910 Kirkhaven Drive, high grass and weeds and junk and debris. 2918 Kirkhaven, high grass and weeds. 83 North Main Street, a large amount of trash stored at the curb for weeks.
Jim,
Yes.
Mr. Davis, just stop at that one. We already cleaned that because
Oh.
we were worried about rats.
Okay,
But we're still going to declare it and put a lien.
very good. All right, 1520 South Raccoon Road, high grass and weeds in front and rear. 1651 South Raccoon Road, high grass and weeds. 1741 to 1747 South Raccoon Road, high grass and weeds. 2691 South Raccoon Road, a large number of concrete slabs and piles of dirt stored in exposed manner within the front yard. 2546 Redgate Lane, bee's nest at rear wall of vacant dwelling. We'll send you to take care of that.
Actually, the resident, I think, to the south is a mother with little kids, and the house is vacant, and I guess it's a pretty good sized nest.
Chief, make sure you escort him over. And after he kicks and screams for about 5 minutes, then you can call for the paramedics to see him. 43 South Roanoke Avenue, high grass and weeds. 5074 East Rockwell Road, miscellaneous items, junk and debris stored in exposed manner throughout the yard. Lot number 121 Starwick Drive, weeds in excess of 10 inches along the westerly section of the property. 5465 Webb Road, miscellaneous items, junk and debris stored in exposed manner throughout the yard. 437 Westgate Boulevard, miscellaneous items, junk and debris stored in exposed manner within the drive and rear yard. 490 Westgate Boulevard, high grass and weeds and miscellaneous items, junk and debris stored in exposed manner at the property. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Frano?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Kenny?
Yes.
All right. And then motor vehicles under Ohio Revised Code 505.871. 3614 Canfield Road, an inoperable Ram pickup truck with an expired license plate CTJ 6474 parked in an exposed manner at the property. 39 Hood Street, an inoperable and unlicensed white vehicle partially parked in an exposed manner on the grass at the property. An inoperable red vehicle with a missing front wheel with a historic license plate 205HWK parked in an exposed manner on the grass at the property. An inoperable white van with an expired license plate from 2014 parked in an exposed manner on the grass at the property. 3802 Edenburg Drive, an inoperable Chevrolet with an expired license plate FIC 2735 from July of 2017 parked in an exposed manner at the property. 4285 Morning Drive, two inoperable vehicles with expired license plates HCZ 5818 and HCZ 5817, all from January of 2018, parked in an exposed manner at the property. 3968 New Road, an unlicensed and inoperable silver pickup truck, and an unlicensed and inoperable silver pickup with a red bed parked in an exposed manner at the property. 490 Westgate Boulevard, an inoperable Chevrolet Cruze with an expired license plate GPG 6030 from May of 2018, parked in an exposed manner at the property. And for the record, the reason our zoning inspector has included the expiration dates is he has been very lenient with COVID-19, that anybody that has had an expired license plate, because of the Bureau of Motor Vehicles allowing them time to get them licensed, he's been lenient with that, but as you could hear, these were from 2014, 2017, and 2018. So those are
Actually-
well over the,
Actually, maybe two, 3968 New Road. I think I cited them late May, and they did ask for a couple of extensions, and I continued to give them extensions. So 3 months is more than enough.
okay, so a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
And a motion to approve the minutes of the public hearing held on August 31st, 2020 for Amendment 2020-01-Z-Dirt Enterprises Fast Track.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes. All right, Darren, anything else?
No, I don't think there's anything.
All right. We want to send in our park supervisor then, please. I hope everybody understands. I wanted to read those and get through here pretty quick tonight because the Pittsburgh Steelers play at 7 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, the Browns didn't show up yesterday.
I'm leaving.
They never show up.
Boy.
Todd, how are you? Thank you for the mass. I see we got some
This is
Austintown
very nice.
Township Park mass. That's very nice. Keeping our guys safe out there.
Yes.
So that's great. All right. Anything to add to the monthly report?
Nothing to add to the report.
All right.
How are the
anything-
concerts going?
Very, very well. Very well attended.
Well,
We have two more. This Thursday, we have Leon Binder, and next Thursday, we have Blue Siren. And I expect those two concerts to be just as well attended.
Everyone's cooperating
Absolutely.
on everything. That's fantastic.
I say that's probably the nicest thing up there is that we've not had one issue where we've had to ask people to put a mask on, take their seat. Everybody comes in, sits down, and follows the rules and guidelines, and do an excellent job with that. Todd had asked prior to the meeting if there was a possibility of even extending the concert series. So you want to do that?
I would love to. I'd love to extend the.
What were you thinking?
Sunday afternoons, Sunday, October 4th, and Sunday, October 11th, from 2 to 3:30. I'd like to add those two dates, and with your approval, I'll get two more bands this week for those two dates.
Okay. Any objection from the board?
No, I think it's great. It's great.
Okay.
Should we make a motion?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So move.
Second?
So we have a motion to continue the concerts in the park through the month of October for October 4th and October 11th.
Yes.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
And I believe, does that leave us open to, if the weather is cooperating, we can go further into the month?
People are still coming. Kind of like Field of Dreams.
Right.
That has been our own little Field of Dreams down there. Build it and they will come.
Play it, no.
And, are we safe to assume the splash pad is closed at this point?
Not yet, but it will be. Matter of fact, I talked to the company this morning. They are scheduling me, I believe on Thursday. They're going to schedule me sometime within the next week or two to close it down. So I will announce that to the board as well as the park Facebook page as to the date that we will be closed down.
Okay.
I don't think anybody's going to be out there.
I was gonna say, did
Come
somebody
get
go
your-
out there today?
Come get your last, well, I'll tell you what, Sunday, it got a little warm Saturday.
And I tell you what, the little ones don't seem to care how cold it is outside. I've seen them show up out there when it's 60-some degrees.
All right, very good. Want to send in Jessica then from the
Yes,
senior center?
thank you.
Thanks, Todd.
Thanks, Phil.
All right, Jessica from the senior center. Jessica.
Yep, we have an opening date.
Oh.
So the governor is going to be allowing senior centers to open no sooner than September 21st. So we are aiming on maybe a September 28th opening if everything goes through. Of course, we'll have a press release, and we're looking at sending out a packet of information to the seniors, just letting them know these are what's changing, this is what you'll have to look for and bring with you, and that sort of stuff. But mostly we're ready. The guidelines do say, they have to wear a mask. They're not allowed to wear face shields, anything like that, so they'll have to wear masks. They got a social distance, and we've got our entryway into the center set up a little bit differently. So when they enter in, they'll get their temperature checked. They've got to sign in because we do have to keep a log of what activities everybody's doing for contact tracing purposes. And we've got brand new sanitizing stations throughout the whole center. Everything is 6 feet apart. We do have the UV light system in our HVAC is installed and working. We've got the foggers and the ozone generators working and going. We've got the thermal scanner in and installed, and it's working, and we've got the new security system all in. So we are ready. We're just waiting for the 21st. And the health inspector, I've got her coming in later this week, and she's going to go through the kitchen and the whole entire center just to make sure that we're following all the guidelines and all that. But I was pretty prepared and anticipating what they were going to have in the guidelines. So I got everything purchased here and installed already. So we're pretty much ready to go. The center is huge, so we're not going to have any problems with social distancing people, and hopefully they can get back to their activities here pretty soon.
That's music to Eric's ears. Right?
Listen to everybody.
There's a lot of senior citizens in Austintown, and they're always calling to ask, when is it going to open?
I think they drive through the parking lot looking for my car, and then they knock on the door, they're like, when are we opening? And I can finally say, we actually have a tentative date, so.
Awesome.
That's great to know. Thank you.
All right. Our fiscal officer, Lori?
I just have my reports to try to do this week.
All right.
Stand in the black, that's a good thing.
That's always a
I like
good
the way you talk.
All right, well, we have a motion to accept the August report submitted to the board for review, the fund status, revenue status, and appropriation status.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Now, while we're talking about our fiscal officer, I will take this opportunity to just tease her a little bit. She does have some young gentlemen, and I call them gentlemen because they are fine gentlemen, that attend Ursuline. And we're okay with Ursuline people. There's a lot of Ursuline people here in Austintown. But she always asks if I'd be happy to purchase an Ursuline football shirt. And I do every year to support her kids, because like I said, they're fine young gentlemen. But just like Boardman, I didn't wear it 2 weeks ago because Fitch was playing them. I was happy to see the outcome, Lori, the dismay of your children. So I'm sorry.
I hear you, but they beat Boardman.
They did, and I proudly wore my shirt on Saturday because of that. I was very happy with that. So,
Yeah.
but all right, we will move on to new business. A motion to approve the placement of no parking signs on Woodhurst Drive on the hydrant side from the north boundary of parcel 48-114-84 south to Nantucket. The petition has over 50% of the signatures. We are in receipt of that petition, and Mike, you verified all of these?
Yes.
And we are good.
Yes.
All right, a motion then to approve it if the board has no objection.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
All right. A motion to increase supplemental appropriations as noted. COVID Relief Fund 2272 by $197,514.45 to a total amount of $592,543.35. Mike, am I correct in saying that $197,000 is the new additional money that we've been granted through the CARES Act?
That's correct.
Motion?
So,
Second.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mr. France?
Yes.
All right, and the Law Enforcement Trust Fund, 2261 by $135,000 to a total of $215,000.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mr. France?
Yes.
Okay. Ohio Liquor Control Division, whether to request a hearing on notice to legislative authority of the Economic Development Transfer Tracts permit to Golden Star Theater Austintown Incorporated, doing business as Golden Star Theaters, 6020 Mahoning Avenue, Austintown Township, Austintown, Ohio, 44515, permit number 3254336, permit classes D5 and D6, from NJ Morgan Enterprises Incorporated Estate, Holly M. Poland, Executor, 5931 Harrison Road, Green Township, Dent, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45248, permit number 6277266, permit classes D5 and D6. For the record, this board earlier this year granted a Trex transfer, which is based off of the economic development and the $2.5 million invested by Golden Star into the theater. This is part of their process to get the liquor license transferred. This gives us an opportunity to object to this transfer if there was an issue. Chief, do you have any objections?
No objection.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we do not request a hearing.
I'll second.
Mr. France?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
You know them more than anything else.
Yes,
They're
they-
really nice
Yeah.
people. What they did to that theater is phenomenal.
It's absolutely amazing. The Moses family, a lot of them, you're known from being down at V2, but they own theaters in Western Pennsylvania. I always joked with Ed down at V2 about it. When are you going to open something in Austintown? Because Vernon's Cafe and Niles, and then downtown they've got great food. So they said, well, how about if we open a theater? I said, why not? So now we don't have to drive to our outlying communities. We can enjoy it right here in Austintown. And this will give them just an extra opportunity to serve an alcoholic beverage while you're watching your movie. So perfect. All right, public response. We have two versions. We have off camera and on camera. Is there anyone that would like to speak off camera? All right. If we could have Falcon Media turn the camera off.
By the way, that's Zane. Congratulations, welcome, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right. We're back on with Falcon Media. Is there anyone that'd like to speak on camera? Sam?
Sam Squaw, 4492 Bog Road. Basically, I'm here just to thank the township, for our 911 ceremony. We did have it, and we always will have them, no matter what size or how many people would attend. But it went over very well. It was a nice crowd. Personally, I'd like to thank the park department, Todd and Tex, for all the maintenance they do basically all year long. They only got one other employee, and also help with the mulch and helping them put it down for us. Mr. Dockery for his help and stuff through that department, the road department, all you township trustees for all your support. Not only on that day, but all year long, and Jim for your emceeing again, and you'll always be there. Police and fire departments, they couldn't make it this year, and we all understood why, because of the COVID pandemic. They got their people spread out and doing their job, but we did have Lieutenant Scourin and Sergeant Toth there, and helping with the traffic, and also doing the policeman's prayer. And we lucked out and had a gentleman from a retired lieutenant from Springfield Township who was there in his uniform.
Yeah.
And he kind of volunteered to do the fireman's prayer, so that all went over real well. I know these men and women couldn't attend because of what's going on, you know, not only in this country but around the world. But I know damn well all their hearts and their prayers were with their fellow police officers and firefighters and first responders. So we all love them for that. Austintown Schools, for what they do every year, they do such a fine job. Not only the staff, the superintendent, Principal Kelty, and Mr. Peck, the AD, and Mr. Miller up there that help us out immensely, and the kids. Austintown is known, and they should get it out more out into the mainstream, you know, of the state on what them kids do up there, how involved they are with veterans and military and stuff like that, with their Purple Star Room, their concert choir, their senior veterans group that do stuff every year. They are very, very veteran friendly and military friendly. You know, so when people talk bad about the kids, well, they got to get to know them before they start talking bad about them. And the choir, they couldn't make it this year because of COVID, and I know they missed a lot this year, whether they be going to the VA hospitals and everything else they do. So it went over real well. We had a nice crowd. We had great speakers, Sergeant First Class Joseph Ravetti, who's a Fitch graduate. And that was a great day. And then that night we had dedicated our POWMIA chair at Fitch Stadium on the 50-yard line. There's a permanent seat, you know, up there. So, and it was donated by Hussey Seating, who makes these the seatings for the stadium chairs. All we had to do is pay for transportation. But also, again, Austintown Schools in the community, and Mr. Coran there for a fine job, a fine speech, and this Mr. Trafficante. So we'd like to thank, I really like to thank everybody for all this, and it really means a lot to us. And Mr. Connolly, he's not doing real well tonight, so but I talked to him before I came up. Thank you, and God bless the United States.
Thanks, Sam.
Thanks, Sam.
Anyone else wishing to speak on camera? Come on up.
Nothing to say. Everything's going well. No, you're.
John Russo, 4314 Pembroke Road. I don't know if this is Austintown or if it's the township or the county, but that new road, heading east on New Road, the new no left turns to turn into the back of Wedgwood Pizza, and the no left turn to pull into that plaza there, the smoker friendly and stuff. I mean, they expect you to make a left on the Raccoon and then try to get into that smoker friendly there. You're right there at that traffic light. It's almost impossible to turn left. Then you're holding up traffic both ways. You know, the traffic's already stopped for the light. Now you're stopped and you can't get in. And so now the traffic's backing up on Raccoon Road there. I don't know why they made no left turn. And then they made no left
my
turn.
understanding, those signs were misplaced. They were to be removed.
They're still there.
I'll
And pull into the gas station where too you can't make a left.
I'll call the county engineer
I thought it was a county road,
tomorrow.
but I didn't know if we had something to do with
Yeah.
that.
I was kind of shocked.
I'll call the county
Yeah, it's kinda
engineer
stupid.
tomorrow.
You can't-
I'll call him tomorrow morning and touch base with him. And those were actually meant to be removed.
Yeah, 'cause you can, and they did the same thing,
Yeah.
pull into the gas station there. You it's.
That's
Well,
what
the last thing you want to do is make the pizza queen unhappy. When people can't pull in to pick up their pizzas.
Yeah.
And that's actually how it was brought to my attention.
And that was
But,
put,
yeah.
that road was put in 20 years ago.
And specifically for that
For
reason.
that reason, to save
That
you
back
from.
entrance there, yes, you have to get out so you can head up New Road towards 46 and not have
Right.
to come around or whatever.
Well, and you're right, it makes no sense. How are you, if you can't make a left into that entryway there and then you go around and you're tying up more traffic, it's.
Yeah, you're already stopped at a light. I mean, you're gonna pull in left at somebody.
Yeah.
I hate to do it because I'm afraid they're gonna pull me over.
Well-
You wait a left
Now,
there.
watch those guys.
And that's actually how it got started, was because we were contacted by Woodruff Pizza because they thought there were so many accidents at that intersection that maybe our police had something to do with it. And I had Chief Cavalier look into it and our road superintendent, and that's how we found out it was down at the county. And then,
You actually,
Those signs-
actually paved it too.
yeah, and those signs were supposed to have been removed. I'm actually surprised that they're still there. I haven't paid attention over
Yeah,
there.
they're still
But
there.
I'll
Just come by.
I'll make a phone call tomorrow morning.
Thank you. And two other issues.
Go ahead.
When you guys sit up here and you talk and you make motions and you second and you so forward or so move or whatever, is at any time, are we allowed to move in at that? No.
May I answer him? By law, we have a system that you can let people talk like you're talking now. But by law, this is a open meeting of the trustees, and it would be disruptive if we had them going too often. That's why we publish what we are going to do in the minutes and so on, in case somebody wants to talk to us beforehand. Because this way you tell us beforehand, and then we won't make the motion until we can discuss things with you. But it's a good point. That,
I was just curious, I mean, because you would like, I don't know, I'm a union background and usually
Yes.
make a motion and,
Yes.
and then I second it out here on the
Yeah.
floor or whatever.
But this is a trustees meeting by law. The trustees, theoretically, we don't even have to let people talk at our meetings. We do that intentionally to let people do. We ask people, if you have problems with the issues that are with us, call us and we'll meet you here and talk about them and that sort of thing.
Okay, I was just curious.
Good point, John.
I see it when I come, and I just wondered how that comes out. My next question is the orange flags, or the orange posts that they put out on New Road, or on Raccoon Road and then going down Pembroke. Is there some type of, they painted orange on the road, is there some type of construction that's going to be coming up there?
Say that again, John.
The orange flags that they put out there on the corner of Pembroke and Raccoon, going down Raccoon, and then they put them going down Pembroke. Wooden sticks with orange flags on them. Is there some kind of, and they painted orange stripes in the road in different spots. Is there some type of construction that's going to be going on?
I don't know.
For us, if they put flags, are they little flags or are they big
It's on
flags?
a wooden stick about yay high, and then there's.
Because normally that's either gas or electric, or some utility that they're working on, giving them an indication of where it is. Now, I can't say that that's the case here. We'll have to find out about it.
Because I know they put up the landmarkers in my yard, you know, and they pull them up, put stakes on them.
So they very well, what they did, I know those were all those markings were in place at New Road initially, and that's where they put up the new crossing signs. So I don't know, maybe they're continuing that further down and they may be putting those crosswalk signs up there, the walk, don't walk, with the school being so close. I don't know.
And
I'll ask the engineer about that tomorrow.
Here's the problem, John. We're trustees, we're supposed to know everything that's going on in Austintown. The problem is we have state and county roads, and they do things we don't know about until someone complains about them.
I'll ask, John, if you want to give me your number after the meeting, off the record, you can come up, just give me your number, and then I'll call you back.
Okay, and then one other thing I'd like to mention that I made it mention a while back, and as you know, we had the fatality down there at the end of the street. It's a 25 mile per hour down that road. I mean, it's definitely not being adhered to. I mean, I watch it go by all day long, you think it's a drag strip going down through there. And the kids coming home from school now, the school's back in, and it gets pretty crowded. They go down to the apartments down there, and a lot of them walk. They don't take the bus. And I know they're being bused. They like walking, and then you have the after-school activities, and there's no place for them kids to go. And the kids, you got that ditch alongside that road, and you know, I see them jump in the ditch because to get out of the way of these people. I cut my grass, and I'd like to whip my lawnmower out in front of some of these people the way they go down that street. It's terrible. But, I know you had talked about, you know, sitting. I noticed you guys have been sitting out there a little bit up there by Barry Dingles and down in the apartments down there, kind of watching a little bit.
I'll just let the term commanders know. Probably the number one complaint we have in the township speeding.
Yeah.
Is, you know, as big as the township is, that's one of the biggest complaints we get, so I'll have officers go down here. I think State Patrol handled that fatality down here.
Down there. I have seen Austintown sitting down there in the apartments. I've noticed lately that you have had a cruiser sitting down there, which, you know, might help a little bit, just be deferred. You know. That's all I got. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. You sure? Don't want to say no?
Wait till the senior center opens
All right, we'll move on to remarks from the board members. We'll start with Trustee Carano this week.
up. Okay. First and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, and especially those of you who are watching, we're almost at the end of the 2020 census. Once again, I have to impress upon you the fact that if you have not sent it in, do so. There's a telephone number that you could call to make sure that you get the opportunity if for some reason you didn't get the application and the information to send back in. 1-844-330-2020. And I'll have that number over here in the township hall for you to call. There you call and they can tell you if your application, your information came in and you're already set up or not. If you have, you should be getting a letter back from the census that looks like this, that telling you that you have been registered. Understand what that means. It means so much to you. Billions of dollars are taken out of the federal funds and passed on to communities based on the number of people in that community. We have over 40,000 here in Austintown, and yet we're registered around 35,000. That takes money away from you. You're going to pay those taxes anyway. The money will go to somebody else. If you don't put your name in that census, so here in Austintown, we could have the correct amount of citizens so that we could get the correct amount of money. Once again, you're going to pay those taxes anyway, but if you don't register, that money cannot come back to us to be able to use for our roads, our things that are happening. So please do so. May I comment about the 9/11? Jim, you did another outstanding job. It was such a nice group. It had to be restricted because of the situation that we had. It was great to see Pat Conley there, who really started this issue, and it's such a beautiful area. By far the nicest, I would say, in the state of Ohio, and God knows where else it would be. But congratulations. And then the seat in Austintown. I got the opportunity to talk about the fact that this is a veterans town. We talk about it all the time. We have the Veterans Park now. We have monuments to all of the people who have served and will be serving in the military. We have organizations like the 9/11. We have the organizations of all the American Legion, the VFW, the Korean War veterans. The other veterans meet in Austintown, although they are from all over the area. The school itself, Sam was talking about that. We have flags in the front of the school for every military organization or military, right, okay, yes, the military services there. We have that purple room where they go in and literally can find out about their relatives that were in the service and other questions they could ask. The senior class has Veterans Days and stuff like this. In the stadium, there is a monument for the 1962 and other class members of Austin Township that paid the ultimate sacrifice, their lives in the Vietnam War. And the curriculum now we actually have a junior ROTC sponsored by the Air Force. There's 90 students who wear uniforms and so on during so many days a month, and they learn to train and the history of all of that. And you said the one thing, 40 years our concert choir has gone throughout hospitals, military hospitals throughout the country to entertain the patients there and the workers there. 40 years they've been doing that. Austintown, I have to speak, I'm speaking for those of us, approximately 90% of the people in Austintown never served in the war, never served in the military. That includes me. I lived between every one of those organizations. So we're so proud of those people who served, and Austintown should know, everyone should know that about Austintown. And I believe that is it. Thank you.
Steve?
I just wanted to go and address something that I believe that's kind of, yes, we're preventing, it's September's National Suicide Prevention Month. We're in this pandemic. I think our suicides are increasing. There's a telephone number for Mahoney and Trumbull County. It's the hotline. It's 330-747-2896. I see a lot of the mental illness from the military, the vets, our youth, and if we can just try to help, or if we're aware of these situations, and if being in this pandemic, everybody's inside, we start getting depressed. Sometimes we don't reach out, or we just text. We need to see each other, at least from a window or something, to make sure we're good. And that's it. That's all. I just want to make sure that we're aware of what's going on and make sure that we stay healthy.
All right. Well, first, while we're talking about the pandemic and being locked up, there have been many questions, so let's address this and get this out of the way right away. Halloween. Everybody's been asking about Halloween and trick-or-treating. As you can tell with this board, we have been very cautious, but we've also been, very, how should I say, liberal about things as well. Be safe. As long as you can do things safely, like our concerts in the park, we're going to continue with trying to keep an everyday normal life. It's simple. If you don't want to pass out candy, shut your light off. If you don't want to send your kid trick-or-treating, keep them home. There will be Halloween on October 31st from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. in Austintown. My light will be on. My kid will be trick-or-treating. Please send yours. And here's the best part. Halloween, everybody wears masks. How about that one, right? We don't even have to tell people, put your mask on. Everybody have a mask on. So that's the skinny on Halloween. Having Halloween in Austintown, put it all over Facebook, all these sites that people are texting me and sending me, everybody's worried. It's Halloween.
What time is that?
Check your candy.
5:30 to 7:30. All right. Now, number 2. Real quick. Sam, I gotta agree with you. When we talk bad about our kids, we gotta take a minute to meet our kids. Because I'll tell you what, just the things that happen, and I was surprised. I didn't find out, as Ken says, there's a lot of things going on in this community, and doesn't always make it to us. To see this seat being dedicated at our high school was just another. It blows me away, the things that they do, the Austintown local schools, and how proud I am to be a Fitch graduate, number 1, but just the continuation of these different things that happen at that high school and throughout our schools is great.
We do have one in the basketball. We do
Yes.
have one
Yes, one
in
on
the
the
gym, but
basketball.
they take it down because they got, and then they
The
put it back
retractable
up.
seats. But, so this is just another outstanding thing for our local schools, and to thank our veterans and to honor those that haven't returned yet, and to let them know that they're not forgotten. So just thank you to the Austintown Local School District, our Board of Education, in instilling those values in our students.
Mr. Kelty is the best. He's
We've got one of the best principals over there that can attest to all of that, because he is a veteran. And then finally, the last thing I want to do is, Sam, you come here and thank me for speaking at the 9/11 Memorial. Don't thank me. Thank you and thank Pat, because that's an honor for me to speak there. I truly, that is one, there are a lot of cool things that I get to do as a trustee. I enjoy all the events I get to do with my daughter, but one that I simply look forward to, and I said it that day, there was no way that we were not having a 9/11 Memorial. For all the work that Pat, his family, and you have continued from day one. That that organization, I remember when it first started, way before I was even thinking of being a trustee. There were so many people in your organization, and now, just like every organization, it's dwindled down to just a few, just like our veterans organizations. It's time, as you said to the people there that day, we need volunteers. It's time that we get this younger generation that, and I talk about this and why I ran, and I talk about Mr. Carano being my teacher at Austintown Fitch, and, knowing him in politics, and I looked at people like Joyce Pogany, and we are so lucky to have people like Joyce Pogany. And Sam, I saw Coach Bear the other day walk into a restaurant.
Yes.
And he come walking in. I was meeting with the Eagles Club, and he comes walking in, and you can't mistake. He's one of those ones, even with a mask, you can't mistake him. And I go, I know this guy, and he just kind of looked at me like, okay, who are you, kid? And I said, he coached me in 1988 with the Little Falcons. There are people like that in our community that we take for granted, the Pat Conleys and the Sam Swaggers and the Joyce Boganys. And if there's one thing that I can implore our community to do, it's volunteer. There are so many organizations, if you don't want to join the Rotary, or you don't want to join the Optimist, or whatever it is, there's other organizations and ways you can be a part of our great community and do things. Simple stuff is going to 9/11 and pulling weeds. Pat will sing your praises for years to come. Am I right, Sam? So there's a lot that you can do, but in all honesty, that's probably one of my that's like a sacred event for me. I absolutely love it. Thank you guys for asking me to do that every year. I have told Pat before, that's one thing I will always make sure that after he's gone, we'll continue. Because, as Ken said, there are only 5 9/11 memorials in the state, and I believe we are the only one in the state that has every piece of the puzzle, from the beams from the 91st floor of the towers, from the dirt from Shanksville, and the pieces of the Pentagon that were removed from where the plane crashed. We have all of that there, and we're so lucky to have that. And, I tell everybody, when you think that you have to drive to New York City to see the 9/11 memorial that they have in Times Square, or that you would have to drive, if you want to go see the monuments in Washington, or if you want to go see the Parthenon, or you want to see the Eiffel Tower, you got to travel all over. And here, you don't have to leave Austintown to see something. It's right down the road. Take advantage of it, being in your community, and volunteer. That's all I could simply tell you. But thank you once again, and helping us remember those and honoring those that day. So it was a great ceremony, and I'm glad we got to continue. Okay, at this time, we will ask for a motion to recess to executive session for the following: to consider the appointment, employment, discipline, or compensation of public employees, or preparing for, conducting, or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment.
Second?
Mr. Carano?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
in association with Austintown Local Schools and Austintown Township.